Warning, the views and beliefs in the following program does not reflect the views of Boom Broadcasting. We give full creative control to our creators and do not believe in cancel culture. I'm contractually obligated to read this discretion. If you've been around this long, you know how we like to get down. Viewer discretion is advised.
Live from the MOWM studio, Boom Broadcasting presents The Nightcap. And your host of The Nightcap, mouthing off with Mike.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Nightcap here on Boom Broadcasting, hosted by yours truly. I am the Mike that likes to mouth off. I am mouthing off with Mike. And ladies and gentlemen, we are ending the week here with a classic. You know it, you love it. It's Friday Night SmackDown. It's the SmackDown Nightcap. It has been called many a things this show. Sometimes it gets a little freaky on a Friday. I'm not talking Freaky Friday with Lindsay Lohan and Jamie Lee Curtis. I'm not talking Freakier Friday with, once again, Lindsay Lohan and Jamie Lee Curtis. But we are back. We have what seems to be the main event here tonight of Friday Night SmackDown. Live with me as your alternate commentary, we've got Penta Zero Miedo going up against Finn Balor here tonight. And the last time is now match tournament. We've had a very, very, very decent SmackDown. That is the best word I could give it. It has been very decent. It is very decent. I'm just here for my flowers. Yes, Rick, I don't have flowers here, but I can give you a firm virtual handshake. Rick nailed it here on Twitter. Twitter, yes. It's not this. It's always Twitter. Now, then, together, forever. I tweeted, oh, they beat the shit out of Cody. I guess I was wrong about who the fifth man was going to, get beat down. I thought Jimmy was going to get beat down. Rick said, well, don't worry. He'll be back to help Mello win in a triumphant return. And Rick, you get the flowers here tonight. A good brother. Quick, I got to find my note. Looks at hand. Yeah, Logan Paul. We kicked off the show here with the Vision and Logan Paul looking at his notes on his hand that he wrote down. What's up to the Mike that loves to mouth off? What's going on, podcast? Smitty, good to see you here with me on a Friday night for the Nightcap. Have they dropped the shame and snooze yet? Rick, I'm not going to lie here. I was kind of moving and grooving the last little bit. We were getting, camera ready. I had to get my makeup and my hair done, and, I had to, make sure everything looked good and nice and neat for all of you. And Penta and Finn are wasting no time getting into it here. But it's good to be back here. Last night, I was yapping a lot this week. You saw me Monday for the Nightcap after Raw, during Raw, after Raw. And you saw me last night with my good brothers, just one of my good brothers, Chano, the Dean of Hate You, over there from Four Sides of the Ring. Me and Chano shared a single brain cell last night, and we talked professional wrestling. And it was a very, very unstructured conversation, but we were able to stay on track. And we were able to talk a lot about the John Cena retirement tour, the stock that is Dirty Dominic Mysterio in WWE. What we would like to see as John Cena's final opponent, December 13th, the Saturday night's main event. We did some full gear predictions. We also had a lot of shenanigans. So you should check that out on Four Sides of the Ring's YouTube. Check them out and enjoy Chano and I yapping about the graps, as we like to say. I'm gonna be honest with you here. I think the most logical result for this match for me, for Finn and Penta, is a big Penta win. I would like to. I look. That's a dream. That's a dream match. Penta versus John Cena. So if WWE decided to throw an ultimate curveball now, albeit, you want to put a young talent like Mello or Gunther's, we went over this last night with me and Chandler. Gunther's, late 30s, so does he need a John Cena rub? No, I don't think so. I think it has to go to Mello. There's that aspect of it. There is also the aspect of Penta has never had a match against John Cena. Would I necessarily be mad at WWE if they said, you know what? Ultimate Swerve, Penta versus John Cena, retirement match. I mean, be a hell of a memorable match. I obviously don't think that's the opponent, but I do want to see Penta move on in this tournament. We know next week it'll be Gunther versus Mello. Mello beat Bronson Reed thanks to the help of Cody Rhodes, and this kind of ties back into Rick and his flowers. Those flowers will be in the mail. I used 1-800-flowers.com. They're not a sponsor of the Nightcap, but if you guys do want to sponsor us, I'm not upset about that, because Rick seems to keep getting his flowers this week. He's just predicting everything. He's just Mr. Mr. Pick'em over here, just predicting everything. Mike, drop your shopper code. I want that DIY shirt from tonight. I got you for you. Don't worry. We'll get you right with that DIY shirt. Yeah. Do you want the one that says "Don't call me a jackass"? Do you want the one that says "Don't call my best friend a jackass"? Or do you want the one that says "Don't call my husband's friend a jackass"? Because me personally, I'm electing for the "Don't call my husband's friend a jackass." I think that's perfect. I think that also tie in line to last night's conversation with Chano. I'll keep that out of this, but there's a certain share. They're in all hotels. We'll just leave it at that. Just can't get the lotto numbers right. Yeah, you and me both, brother. What do you think? Maybe if we put our brains together like me and Chano did last night, and we share a singular brain cell, and we pick 3-4 numbers each. And maybe that'll be the deciding factor of everything, right? I think we might have to. SmackDown has been a serviceable show. They did some pretty solid stuff in the early portion of SmackDown. Ilya versus JD for the United States Championship was honestly a pretty good use of JD being on SmackDown with Finn, because Finn is taking on Penta right now. I like this match. I was a big fan of this. This felt very NXT UK to me. I talked about this last night with Channel. It's kind of wild, how just a random, show last night is going to connect to the night show. But I talked a lot about how good NXT UK was, and these two have had some wars, and in NXT as well. So this was really, really good for the US Championship. Obviously, Ilya retains, and he is making that United States Championship feel a certain kind of way that it hasn't felt in a long, long time. Sammy was starting to restore the feeling of it. I think the shock title win for Ilya in his return, that 4 or 5 weeks ago now, was the ideal setup, because Sammy was making it feel important again, because we were doing these open challenges. Sammy having that open challenge and then losing to returning Ilya Dragunov because of that stipulation and not knowing who is going to come out of that curtain to take him on is a great aspect of that. And I think that's what makes Ilya special, because he's continuing. At some point, a heel will win it, and that tournament, that open challenge will end. But for now, I like what we're doing with that. But we'll bring it back to the beginning of SmackDown here. We'll talk a little bit more Finn Balor and Penta right now, because that is our main event. Hear me out. They announced his replacement after who wins. Saving it for last to get you through to the weekend is going to have to be huge. Yeah, I mean, I think they're going to want to try to hype up that next opponent, because they don't know who. It's going to be Rusev that's the odd man out right now in the people that have moved on. So it would have been Sheamus versus Rusev, Gunther versus Mello, and then the winner of this would have taken on Solo, as what I saw earlier. So at that point right now, we're going to have to figure out who's going to take on Rusev. They're going to still run Solo versus Penta or Finn, and then they're going to run Gunther and Mello. So these make sense. The problem that we don't have yet is the solution to to the Sheamus injury. Yeah, I mean, everybody is pulling for Melo, man, to win this tournament, and I'm 100% on board with that. I think that's ideal for this tournament, and I think, like I said, Boston guy, whatever, Massachusetts guys, whatever we want to call them. Obviously, Cena's from West Newbury, but whatever. Boston guys, they got the same kind of, bringing up through the company. Melo, kind of different. He grinded on the indies, but he made a splash in NXT by using those same very words that John Cena used against Kurt Angle: ruthless aggression. And with Adam Cole and the peak of NXT Black and Gold, and he cuts his teeth in, and he becomes a household name in NXT. And the push to the main roster just didn't translate good enough, and that's unfortunate. It is unfortunate that has to take place, but I think it's also, think about it, he is still fairly young. He's in his late 20s. I think he's 28. I think we're the same age, so he has years in this industry, and as long as he stays healthy, so I get why maybe it felt sporadic at times, but he is, once again, he's a younger talent coming into the main roster, so you have to keep them moving, but you also can't overexpose them too soon, because they learned that lesson with Roman, and then when they tried to project him to that, that spot. Who will Melo face? Melo will face Gunther. So we're going to reestablish what we saw in the NXT transition, where we have that tail end of NXT, kind of black and gold, but new era, like new gen NXT, into NXT 2.0, where Gunther and Melo were kind of like passing one another. So I think that's a great next opponent for Melo in this tournament, because this puts the fans on both sides. The Gunther fans are going to be pulling hard for this match. The Melo fans are going to be pulling hard for this match. You're putting both guys who people are assuming are going to be the final opponent in the next round. So you're effectively saying one of these two is the guy in this tournament to take on Cena. I know everyone is saving. I don't want to say his name so he appears, but I want Obafemi. I think Obafemi, you will see Obafemi. You will see him for the rest of Saturday night's main event with the exhibition matches. I guarantee you, if, and this is a big if Gunther is not his final opponent, I believe that we could see Gunther versus Oba in an exhibition match. That could be a very muddy match. Penta advances. So this is what I expected. Still 15 minutes left to SmackDown here, which means one thing: shenanigans will ensue right now. Or we're going to get an announcement for the Sheamus news, Rick. So stay tuned for that. What we're trying to do here is we're trying to get back to our roots. Ooh, that's not it. That's too pink. There it is. There we go. Got to get back to the purple, guys. The purple, the nightcap purple, For those who are colorblind, I'm not sure what colors you're seeing right now, but we're back to our OG purple. First round's complete. Quarterfinals are set, mostly set. Here we go. They're going to give us who the Sheamus. So Rusev has Uso. Penta has Sikoa. Gunther has Hayes. LA Knight has mystery opponent. So LA Knight's getting the replacement opponent. Guess that'll be your Joe Hendry. I assume that's your Joe Hendry. I would assume LA Knight versus Joe Hendry is the move. That would be my assumption. So I like that we did do the traditional Survivor Series match. Sayonara Sucker is crazy. This should have been with the Wyatts. This 5-on-5 match. Obviously everything's going on with Bo's pops, but felt like the Wyatts and the MFTs were on a collision course for a traditional Survivor Series match. Okay, we've got the 4 women in women's war games. Now Charlotte and Rhea are on the same page. That logo, 100% wood. Straight wood is crazy. Straight wood is crazy, my guy. You made me lose my train of thought here. You really made me lose my train of thought. No, what I was gonna say was I lost my train of thought, Rick. You son of a bitch. Oh no. Oh, Rhea and Charlotte. They have a chat. They had a little chatty. She had a little tea party. If you guys know, you know, a little tea party here. Charlotte and Rhea, little conversation. They're on the same page, ladies and gentlemen. It's like the mega forces uniting here in the women's division of the modern era. The modern era mega powers here of Charlotte and Rhea, uniting for war games. That's what it feels like here. Honestly, it really does feel like the modern day mega powers between these two. But it's gonna end in utter heartbreak. I still am angling for the 5th women on each squad to be Becky with Asuka, Lash, Kyrie, Nia. I expect AJ Lee to be with Charlotte and Rhea and Io and Alexa. On paper, that is a stacked women's war games match, 5-on-5. And I'd like to see it go 5-on-5. And I think AJ Lee and Becky Lynch are pretty logical steps in this because they showed Rhea and AJ Lee talking on Raw Monday. They had some things to talk about. Rhea figures out the Charlotte situation tonight. Got her on the squad. I think Monday we get the Becky and AJ Lee is on the squad. There we go. Oh, I mean, the graphics aren't that. I don't think those graphics are that bad. Now I see what you're talking about, Rick. Let's see. Let's look at that. I think it's because they're in San Diego. So I think they're gonna go with that's also that's very 70s coded too, or 80s coded for. I don't even know what years it is right now, guys. What year is it? 2025? That'd be 2026. Time flies when you're watching wrestling, I guess. So we know Mello and Bronson Reed. Mello won thanks to Cody Rhodes. We know Penta is advanced in the tournament thanks to our prediction specialist this week, Rick. We do have the formal bracket here. We have Jey Uso, who defeated The Miz. He'll take on Rusev, who beat Priest. Sheamus, who beat Nakamura, who's not able to compete, would have taken on LA Knight. LA Knight will take on a mystery opponent. Let the speculation begin. We'll get into mystery opponent speculation here shortly. And then Carmelo, who beats Bronson Reed thanks to the help of Cody. Gunther, who beats Evans. Gunther and Hayes, little reuniting of some NXT transition era. That'll be fun to watch. I think Carmelo wins this. Then you got Solo and Penta. I think Penta very well could beat Solo. I think you could see a semifinal of Penta versus Carmelo Hayes on this side of the bracket, on the right side of the bracket. Rusev versus Jey Uso. I think that's pretty easy, pretty light. Jey Uso beats Rusev 100%. And then LA Knight and the mystery opponent is your catalyst now. You could... Rusev gets the win because of shenanigans. I could see it. The Vision stop Jey Uso from winning against Rusev following War Games, because I don't think they're going to do any John Cena final matches next week on Raw. I think it's War Games advantage matches at that point. So I don't expect to see that unless they decide to do it. They could. So this will be interesting. I'm still going to go Hayes here. I think we're gonna have to angle it Carmelo Hayes versus Carmelo Hayes versus mystery opponent could be anybody. That's the problem. We'll get back to that here. We're gonna talk a little bit of women's War Games. Let's see if these teams get figured out tonight or if that's gonna take place on Raw. Alexa and Charlotte are back on the same page for now until Charlotte turns on them at Survivor Series. And we have to get a replacement woman who probably could be AJ Lee. Io Sky's giving her best Shawn Michaels impersonation there with the pants. Those are pretty sick pants, honestly. Do you guys should get a pair of those guys? Hit you with that Blake Monroe. Should I get a pair of those Io pants? And then, of course, here's everybody's favorite, Rhea Ripley. They got 2 weeks from Survivor Series, do 2 matches, Raw, 2 on SmackDown, then the finals that Raw. Oh, okay. So they got... All right. So, yeah, I mean, I might have to go to that Monday Night Raw. That's December 1st from Glendale out here in Arizona. That'll be a good one. Rhea in the mask is crazy, dude. This is like the second year in a row she's wrestled War Games with a broken nose. Just the timing on that is crazy. Chills. Evil. I die. This is my brutality. Rhea Ripley got a top 10 theme song. Top 10 theme song. Top 10 might be a top 5er. Listen. The top 10 theme songs in WWE history could be probably one of the hardest. It'd be the hardest conversation we could ever have. I don't think. I don't think it's a conversation that we could feasibly have. I don't think we could ever come to an agreement on a top 10. Too many bangers, man. Too many bangers. There's too many good entrance themes in the history of WWE. I do feel like it's BS they promoted Sheamus replacement to just push it to turn in next Friday to find out. Well, they always do that shit, Rick. Probably a social media. It'll be a social media clip. I don't know who's real and who's fake. You know what I'm saying? Got to get rid of them fake people. Sometimes you got to cut the grass. Let the snakes stay in the grass and just cut the grass. You know? You know what I mean? A lot of fake in this world these days. The world's a crazy place. I don't like where we're headed with this. Is Rhea gonna turn heel again? Nah, Charlotte's going back to being a heel. Makes you wonder if it's not storyline, so they had to switch last minute. No, I think it is storyline. I think they were like, all right, Sheamus got his Cena moment on this tour. As much as, you know, I mean, feasibly speaking, there's a guy in that tournament. You're really one guy that you could probably feasibly say, like, all right, let's just take him out, I guess. If we want to put a surprise person in there. Is Sheamus or Rusev? Because, I mean, I have no interest in seeing Rusev versus Cena one last time. Especially knowing that him and Lana fucked in the tank at WrestleMania, which is wild. That was a wild podcast expose when that came out. Oh yeah, here it is. The announcement. You need 5. You need 5 for War Games. Yeah, this shit's stacked. Let's light it up. Light it up. Let's light it up. Light it up. Light it up. Oh, they're jumping him. Oh, they're jumping him. Oh, this is AJ Lee. Look in the ring, damn it. Look in the ring, AJ. What are you doing? AJ Lee just pulled a Jeff Hardy. Oh, there's Becky. There it is. Where's my flowers, Rick? Huh? Where's my flowers? You're gonna call 1-800-FLOWERS and send me my flowers? Nailed this. 2 weeks in the making. 2 weeks in the making. Saw this from a mile away. Telegraphed it. Telegraphed this 2 weeks ago. Said Maxine beats Becky thanks to AJ Lee distracting her. AJ Lee and Becky get inserted into the respective War Games teams. And it's all unveiled here tonight on a lovely, freaky Friday nightcap for SmackDown. I love it here. I absolutely love everything about it. That was gnarly. Well, we know the baby wasn't made in the tank. Oh, dear Lord. Sounds like Rick and Mike should face off in Survivor Series predictions. Yeah, I mean, he kind of cooking. I'm kind of cooking. Nia Jax just hit Rhea with the triple booty bop bounce. Hit her with that bop, 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 bop. That's crazy. That's absolutely diabolical. Becky Lynch joining up. Oh, shaking Asuka's hand. There you go. Becky and Nia on the same team. Never thought loser buys the winner legit flowers. I could get on board with that. I could get on board with that. We'll go head to head. Loser has to buy the winner real flowers. I hope Nia worked on her chair swings. Well, listen, I told you the Nia situation. Nia does not need. You just need to work around Nia, right? Nia just needs to be like the 5 moves of doom type of vibe. And that's really all you need from Nia. You just need to put her in there, have her, look intimidating and booty spot a chick off the top rope every once in a while. You know what I mean? Hit her with a little booty bop off the top. Like you just got to do it. Sometimes you just got to hit a chick with a booty bop off the top. Sometimes you got to do it. Women's War Games is complete. Yeah, I mean, I'm doing a little promo. Yeah. We know what we're doing here. You hear the typing. You know what we're doing. We're getting making people know what we're talking about here, because this conversation go off the rails just like last night with me and Chano, because we shared one brain cell last night. I lent him that half a brain cell, so I'm operating on half a brain cell here tonight on the nightcap. Don't remember last year's war games? Oh, yes, with her little like her little fake her fake chair shots. Yeah. It is odd that men's have both brand champions and women's do not. It is interesting. It is interesting that all of the women's champions are not involved in war games. I can tell you why. I think Triple H doesn't want. I think Triple H is more afraid of a women's champion getting hurt in war games than he is a male's champion getting hurt in war games. That, or there's something coming that we don't have any expectation or any idea of what could possibly go on there. Cody and Punk both in this match, very interesting decision. But when you have two top stars with the top titles, you probably want to put them in war games. And, unfortunately, if those titles are locked up in that match, so be it. We have other titles that can be on the card. Case in point, John Cena defending the Intercontinental Championship against Dom. That's a huge match. It's not a world heavyweight championship match against the two, but it's the Intercontinental Championship. Cena just won it, 2 weeks ago. So that's a huge match. Dom in his own city, going up against the John Cena, the greatest of all time, in a retirement tour match. That this is his last PLE. His shirt for San Diego just dropped. It's great. It's retro Padres. It looks incredible. I really regret. This is like super poor financially sound, but I regret not buying every shirt on the tour that was available to purchase. I regret it. Genuinely speaking, I regret not buying every single shirt. And when the first one came out for the tour, I bought it, the red one. When they did LA, I didn't buy that shirt. When they did, so on and so forth. Like I have the base retirement tour, the Vegas, the Phoenix, the MetLife, and I have the MSG. So like I picked up some important ones, but I also really wish I would have had all of them, because I feel like those would be such a cool decorative piece. Like if I had the space, like if I had a whole basement, like just a whole man cave, I would string up a rope, like a line, like a clothing line, or like a fish wire. And I have each shirt hanging up from the rafters, like just on, like that would look so sick. Super sad that I didn't think about it, but super happy. My bank account is happy I didn't do that. Roses are red, violets are blue. If you have better picks, he'll buy flowers for you. If I'm buying flowers for Rick, if he beats me, then I better buy flowers for the misses too. Rick, you better buy flowers for your misses. If I beat you and you got to buy me flowers, make sure you do that, because I don't think this will go well in either of our households. We'll be both sleeping in the doghouse together, sharing a piece of Bounty, a half sheet of Bounty paper towel, because Nikki needed my money. Cough, cough. Yeah, well, hey, get your bag, girl. What can I say? Then at Saturday Night Main Event, those titles aren't defended, so we are talking Rumble until title matches. Just saying that back in the day, you had 30 days to defend it or not. I know, Rick. I know the 30-day timeline, but the 30-day timeline, it's, that whole rule is dead and gone. What I will say about that, though, is I don't think it'll be until the Royal Rumble you get a title defended. I think it'll be a situation of the titles will be defended probably on a Raw or a SmackDown on the way to the next couple PLEs. That, or you might be right. Very well could see that titles don't get defended until Saudi Rumble. Could happen. It could very well be the agreement in place. Hey, we want all the big title matches at Royal Rumble. That's our show. We're paying billions for whatever the check looks like. You can add as many zeros as you want. Anything could happen. Saturday night's main event, we know it is predominantly John Cena's final match, the opponent we're figuring out in this tournament. But with that said, we know that there's NXT exhibition matches. Those could be title matches, Rick. At Saturday night's main event for the NXT exhibition matches. Let's be real here. WWE could say, we're going to do, I don't know, Stephanie Vaquer versus JC Jane. Okay. We could see, we could do title versus title. We could see current North American, the greatest North American champion, Ethan Page, All Ego Ethan Page, go against the United States champion, Ilya Dragunov. Or we could see Ethan Page go up against the Intercontinental champion, could be Dirty Dom Mysterio. Now, if Cena does retain the title against Dom, then we know that's not a possibility. But if we're just figuratively firing off the hip here, we don't know what those exhibition matches look like. So with the WWE NXT exhibition matches for Saturday night's main event, do we see Ricky Saints versus Cody Rhodes? Great. That's a fantastic question mark. That'd be a great match for a Saturday night's main event exhibition, NXT, WWE, John Cena retirement show. That's a memorable match. Could you see Ricky Saints versus CM Punk? That's another memorable match. Maybe they do Ethan Page versus CM Punk. They have history from NXT. CM Punk was a special guest ref, over a year ago on the CW's debut on that show. Anything is possible. I don't think we know what that NXT exhibition matches look like. They very well could be NXT champions versus WWE champions. You could get if the NXT champion after Gold Rush is still Ricky Saints, then we could get Ricky Saints versus Cody Rhodes, 100%. If it's not Ricky Saints, it's an Obafemi, we could be getting Obafemi versus Cody Rhodes. Anything's possible. Anything is possible with that. I think anything is 100% possible for that Saturday night main event, because much like the John Cena retirement tour, anything was possible on this retirement tour. They made everything a possibility. They, was some of it ugly? Yes, it was. But they gave us a John Cena heel turn that we did not see coming. They gave us a really abandoned, shitty storyline that wasn't fully fleshed out with Travis Scott and The Rock and the Cena Soul story. And then the WrestleMania underwhelming match between Cody and Cena, which is tough to swallow looking back at it a year. I haven't went back and watched that match. I haven't, because I was there, and I literally was like, I looked at the missus and I was like, this is the last WrestleMania we're going to see John Cena at. She goes, yep. And I said, that was probably the worst match that I have ever seen live for Cody Rhodes and John Cena combined. And we had like a full blown conversation, walking back about holy shit, we need to wipe that out of our heads. We need to Men in Black, forget it, because if that's our last impression of Cena in his run, holy shit, that sucks. And then, he came out for Phoenix, and we saw him and Punk, start their feud toward to Night of Champions. So, that was a very cool moment, but there was some ugly on this tour. There was some good on this tour. We did get a rematch with Cena and Cody, and it was a good rematch at SummerSlam. It was a great match. It made me forget about WrestleMania. If you don't buy some for Miss MOWM, you'll be like Bruno Mars singing, and I should have bought you flowers. I love that podcast, Smitty. Page against anyone to be fired. I can't wait until he's bumped up. Yeah, Ethan Page, I felt, was going to be moved up to the main roster at NXT Halloween Havoc. I thought Halloween Havoc was going to be the swan song for Trick and Ethan Page. JC Jane as well. They all lost their titles. I thought that was what was happening. I really genuinely thought that was happening. That did not happen. So, they're still in NXT. I don't know if we're just waiting for the new year. I don't know if we're just waiting for Royal Rumble. Rick, we could go back to Royal Rumble again and talk about that. It very well could be a situation where they're holding out for Royal Rumble. Let's bring in Ethan. Let's bring in Jordan officially. Let's bring in JC. Let's bring in Trick. Could be a situation where Trick helps Mello in this tournament. Okay? It could be a situation where Trick stops the Miz from screwing over Mello against Gunther or his opponent after that if he beats Gunther next week. So I think there's anything's possible when it comes to the NXT side, when it comes to these exhibition matches at Saturday night's main event. I really do. We did start with Cody Rhodes getting his ass handed to him. That did in fact happen. They threw his ass. Drew McIntyre whipped his ass, threw him out the tour bus, and we thought that was it for Cody Rhodes. And then he comes all the way back later against Carmelo and Bronson Reed. And Carmelo wins via countout thanks to Cody hitting Bronson Reed with a crossroads. And might I add, Cody cuts an incredible promo on the announcer's table with the little fake, cut on his eye. Cuts a really good Cody Rhodes impassion, sell this pay-per-view next Saturday. Just really good Cody promo. Just you can feel it. He spits so many good lines from this promo. Bronson Reed talking about how Bronson Reed's the best thing in that group and he just hasn't realized it. Braun Breaker, how historically speaking, a Steiner has never been better than a Rhodes. Cook, Paul Heyman, Brock Lesnar, I beat you twice. Remember that? And Paul, remember all these guys you've had on this WrestleMania, you manage them all and I beat them all. You build them up, I beat them up. Oh, Cody. Whoa, wait a minute, sir. Where'd this come from? Love to see that side of Cody. That's the, a lot of people get on the Cody Rhodes, train. And I see so many, it's the same shit every week and week. So yeah, sometimes he does get a little bit repetitive, so insert city, what do you want to talk about? I hear you. But when you get a gem like this, you really just got to enjoy it. And you got to take it for what it's worth. And it's a damn good promo. Imagine if it's Raw versus NXT versus SmackDown. Triples does like his triples. That would have, that would be a great send-off show for the year. That's what I'm saying. He should have been. Imagine if it's Orton Knight next week. It's a possibility. They've got history. It could be just about anybody. WWE has a working relationship with TNA, AAA, obviously NXT. You have wrestlers in the company on alumni contracts that you could call up too. It could be just about anybody. It could be a situation where they call up Cardona and Ziggler or one of the two, or they call up Joe Hendry and they say, hey, Joe, you're getting the opportunity, man. Sheamus is hurt. Well, we're gonna put you in against LA Knight. It could be Ricky Sainz. Could be Ethan Page. Mr. Iguana. Doubtful, but could. La Parka. Dr. Wagner Jr. Who else in TNA? Could be Santana. Could get wild. Throw him in there. Anybody's possible. Bet Cody's promo wasn't written on his hand. Yeah, Logan did write his promo on his hand tonight in the opening, but I think that was also intentional, so he could do that joke and be like, "Oh, the notes here." Like I think that was like a Logan's trying to make jokes and make references because he's Logan Paul. Listen, Logan Paul, incredibly talented, super athletic, super gifted. Guy's a multimillionaire. Makes he's got these drinks. He's got the Lunchable knockoffs. He's boxing guys. He's got betting, shit. He's got the stupid fucking e-currency or whatever he's doing and Bitcoin scams. Like the guy's loaded. He's got his own podcast that does huge numbers. Like this dude does not give a shit. Not give a shit. And you got to respect that at its core, man. He doesn't give a shit. He really doesn't. But I'm happy for Mello. I've been advocating very hard for Mello to be John Cena's final opponent. I've said it from the beginning of the tournament announcement. I said it from when he announced his final tour right now. I said the storybook final match is Carmelo Hayes against John Cena in Boston, and that didn't fucking happen because it's in DC. That's gonna be an interesting night, December 13th. It's gonna be weird. That'll probably be the last stream for me personally until after the holidays. So I that'll probably be the last, I don't know what we're gonna call that. I don't know if we're gonna call it the nightcap. I don't know if we're gonna call it the mic cap. I don't know if we're gonna just call it the Saturday night's main event. Mouthing off with Mike's Saturday night's main event. I don't know. We'll figure it out. But MOWM, SNME, John Cena final tiers night, that'll be the last live stream until the holidays are over for me. And then we're in January and it's Royal Rumble season. And then February you got the Chamber, and then guess what? Right then it's WrestleMania. So it's getting to the good part of wrestling again. Tonight's SmackDown, if I were to give it what's Denver got? What's Denver known for? The Mile High City, who's always high. I mean, gotta give it. Can't do that. I'm on Boom Broadcasting. Sorry, Mike. Yeah, I would give it the last show of the year's. The last show of the year's here show. It's on SmackDown. He could travel with Chelsea. Saying Rusev wins over Jay. LA Knight getting to face him might be good, but wonder if it's Matt Cardona against Knight. I don't think they're going to run Matt Cardona and Knight back. Cardona lost to LA Knight in the tournament, so I would assume that Matt Cardona would not get a second chance at it. I would assume Ziggler, since he lost to Solo, he doesn't get a second chance at it. I would assume. I'm really thinking it's going to be either Joe Hendry or maybe Edge. Maybe they're going to go fucking balls to the wall. Maybe they will call up Edge and have it. What about the Boom Broadcasting holiday party? No content from that. Did I miss an announcement, Mark? Did I miss an announcement on someone's show today? Was there a holiday party announced? I certainly did not know there was a holiday party. No, it's definitely not. Definitely won't have any content from that. Yeah, it's getting to that time of the night. So I'm gonna wrap this show up here tonight, ladies and gentlemen. He who spiked the eggnog. No, that's definitely me. I'm definitely most likely to spike the eggnog. Just hit that shit with just some crazy vodka. You'd be 2 shots of vodka. You know what I mean? It's the holidays, ladies and gentlemen. And if you're not drinking to get through the holidays, then I don't know what you're doing, because I know I always need a helping hand from Jose and Terramana every once in a while to make it through these holidays. Ladies and gentlemen, I will see you all here. There's no Full Gear Nightcap tomorrow. I'm very sorry. You guys can, cry. We can here. Let's get funky here tonight on the end of the Nightcap. Should we say no Nightcap tomorrow? No Nightcap tomorrow for Full Gear. I'm sorry. I'm very sorry. But there will be a Nightcap. They should have never given me sound effects. I'm just discovering sound effects. They should have never given me these sound effects. But we will be back. This is a crazy one, so I don't know how I'm gonna make it through. We're gonna try to make it through. Basically, we'll call it Hell Week next week. We're gonna go. I'm gonna have a Nightcap for you. I will have a Nightcap for you Monday after Raw. It'll be kind of same deal as tonight. 30 minutes towards the end of Raw, I will be live with the Nightcap. We'll hang out Monday. We'll have ourselves a hell of a Nightcap. Tuesday, I'll come on back and we'll watch NXT live together with all of you. We'll watch NXT live together for the first time, and God only knows, it's been a year. It's been a year since I've been able to live stream or do a Nightcap for NXT. So we will have a Nightcap for NXT next Tuesday night for Gold Rush Week 2. Wednesday after Dynamite, maybe during Dynamite, we'll do ourselves a little AEW Dynamite nightcap. Been over a year since we've had a Dynamite nightcap. And then on Friday, next Friday, good old Black Friday. If you've shopped till you dropped all night, you come on, hang out with me on the nightcap for SmackDown. And then unfortunately, obviously Cody Rhodes got beat up tonight. So I don't think Cody Rhodes will be convincing the missus to allow me to go to Survivor Series next Saturday. So Survivor Series is off the table. I'm very sorry to say. I'm sorry. I'm very sorry. I'm very sorry. She nailed it. She said, no, it's not happening. And that's it. Cody Rhodes couldn't convince her in time. No Survivor Series. So we'll be live for Survivor Series watch along on Mouthing Off with Mike. Nightcaps will be on Boom Broadcasting and my Twitter. Watch along for Survivor Series will be on my YouTube and my Twitter, and maybe we'll do a little Boom Broadcasting too. We'll see. But so I'll be live pretty much all next week. We're gonna try to make it through the week. I've got a week to talk some wrestling, so let's try to get back into pro wrestling. Follow me. Go check out last night's episode of 4 Sides of the Ring. 4 Sides of the Ring. Yeah, 4 Sides of the Ring. Everybody got an opinion. 4 Sides of the Ring. Go check out that episode last night with Chano, the Dean of Hate You, and your boy here, the Mike that likes to mouth off. I'll see you guys next week for what I can only be described as Wrestling Hell Week for me. I'll catch you on the flip side. Bye, guys. Bye. Bye. Thank you. Thank you. That's it. That's the show. We're going to keep